there's quite a few people in the industry that believe that concrete is the solution. I disagree for a few reasons. One, if you look at the economics of the device itself, okay, fine. Right. But you never include the factory in your calculations. If you include the factory, we're a lot cheaper. But it's also not just that. When you're talking about 5-10 units and you can do them in 1 year, it's fine. But now you have, a floater in concrete is like 5 to 10 times the weight. So you have, if you're doing a gigawatt, just a simple question, where is the sand going to come from? You're not talking about tons. You're talking about thousands of tons of sand that you need to bring in. So, the entire thing kind of breaks down. And how long does it take? Because there's a project, there's 3 projects in France, in the Mediterranean, that were assigned that were granted by the government in 2016. And the first project was an EDF project that was put in the water 2 years ago. Then the second project I used to work on that was put in the water this year. And then the third project is the heaviest. So it used to be concrete, then it becomes steel and things like that. But it's just very, very challenging and very big. So your mooring is more expensive, everything is more expensive. And people say, okay, concrete is recyclable. But not really. You don't turn concrete back in concrete.
No, because it goes through a chemical process, so it's not easy to turn it back.
Yeah.
So and the manufacturing process creates a lot of byproducts that are
So contaminated. And then talking about efficiency and so on, it goes back. Can you put 10 units or 5 to 10 units on the boat, or is it just one?
Right.
And your footprint, and so then the time it takes is just much longer. You cannot. We have a hard time with a 3,000 or 4,000 ton structure to do, one a week, and now you want to do one a week on a 15 to 20,000 ton structure. It's just not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't realize that there was such a close competition between cement and concrete.
I don't think it's that close. I think that there's some very, very tenacious people that want to see concrete, and everyone else is trying to tell them, yes, but it's not going to work.
Right.
So,
right.
But
I thought that with concrete, the issue that you have is that they get flooded, so you have to keep pouring out water out, and then with steel. What I would be concerned is, oxidation and things like that, right?
Yeah. So no, concrete works offshore. I mean, there's a lot of oil, not a lot, but there are some oil and gas platforms that were built. But so there's 2 things. Is one, if it's a fixed structure, then it's much easier. Right. If it's a floating structure, then you have oscillating loads. And concrete works great in compression, not really in tension. It would just brittle. But when you have, a ship, you have just a mode, so hugging and siding, because your ship does that all the time in waves. Just it flexes back and forth. So you cannot do that in concrete. So what you end up doing is you have a steel frame in it, just rebar, and then so preform, and you pull on them. And by pulling on them, so you extend them. Steel is, I'm not like a rubber band, but it will move. And then you pour your concrete. And then you put it back together. So now it's not like so you've pre-stressed it basically. Yeah. So what happened is it's not like a rubber band that you've extended. Now your rubber band will go back and forth, not enough to break, and not enough that it goes slack. And so you have to work within that range. So it's not cheap to build this,
Right.
So there's not too many vessels. There are some. I had a friend that he had a 50-foot sailboat, and he made it himself in concrete.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it works technically, but it's not simple.